Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to the very old Silverstone. Back into the past. Also simulation wise, because we go back to RF2 for round 5 of this 10 round beautiful HRSC series. So this is quali already, and my arms are already falling apart, as I have already practiced for 2 hours for VMS for tomorrow, and then an hour for this. So let's see how it goes. It will be a bit of an issue, this race, because it is the natural habitat for the Brabhams. Many corners, or like big density of corners, and not long straights, so our Rafa Eagle, that's very powerful and very heavy, will struggle. But in quali it should be close. And then let's see what happens in the race. And let's not crash, because if you crash the session is over. Where is my FFB? Let's reset. There you go. Hopefully everything works. I think it does. This windshield is so, I don't know, obstructive, difficult to see through it. Would need a bit of polish. So yeah, for quali I will be doing just out lap, 2 hot laps and an in lap, as the tire temps are absolutely horrendous around here. Here we go. Ay, ay, ay. Thank you, Casper. Hi, Wilco. This should be still 3rd gear. I'll try to keep the temps down on this outlap, or well, secondary outlap. We've been trying to keep the temps of the tires below 100 in the past races, but here it's like 3 laps and they are already 110, and I don't know, maybe we need a tire swap mid-race, although that takes a minute and a half. And today we have Ross McGregor back into the other Rafa car. Fresh for me and for Ross from the Qatar 6 hours LMU success from yesterday. It was a fun race. Right. Let's not fail the second attempt. The delta that you see on the overlay is delta to a 22.5 that I have done in practice. Ah, yeah, no, this is going into the bin. I'm gonna just take the lap time for now, just to have a reference. So weird to drive these cars after driving LMU, although it kind of feels like the Peugeot hypercar. Like out of corners, as long as I'm on power, it kind of keeps rotating until suddenly it stops rotating. And into the corners the rear is snapping a bit. It's gonna be a weird race here in all kind of aspects, because it kind of clashes with the F1 quali and then with the big split, or like probably the biggest of the Qatar 6-hour driver swap. Well, I don't quite understand this pit entry. Ah, unlucky. That's early. By the rules we have to box before we escape, so there we go. Alright, 7/10 off, but my lap was the worst in the history, so should be doable. What am I doing? Anyway, Delta is happy. Just a little of Bert. No, that's not fast enough. Box, box, box. There have been no notes about this pit entry. I don't even know where the pit entry is. Wilco, it was it went well, but it was not without bugs. The driver swaps were fine. The issue for us was that, and for some others, that only the driver that registered and was in the server could actually join. We couldn't even see it. There was no notification on the top right in the main menu about the upcoming session. So we worked with the devs for 2.5 hours, and then we found a solution, and then we could join the server, and the driver swaps are, well, very, very straightforward. Like, it just works. I don't think there has been any issue with driver swap. Right, a 10th. I can find a 10th. So Bert is doing like consecutive laps, interesting. I mean, the Brabham is very gentle. Oh, slow out lap. Maybe that's the way to do it. And Brabham is much more gentle car on the tires. But yeah, Wilco, if you watch the stream, it went very wrong for all the teams' strategy or driving wise. Like, obviously it was the morning split on Friday, so not many big teams, kind of, or no big teams, or no esports drivers almost. But it turned out to be a very, very exciting race with a nail-biting finish after I found a cliff on my tire. Hi CA! So the rules about this off-track are... Wait, let me wait for that guy. But you have to at least attempt to stay at least one car width off-track. Like, you have to attempt to not go more than one car width off with all 4 wheels of the main racing surface, even though there is no cut detection. Right, so tires are nicely chilled. The car is all over the place. Messed it up. That's 2 tenths gone. And that's pole. Yeah, that's actual pole. Okay, let's not. Am I losing a tire? I didn't lose a tire, okay. Right, you guys know the drill, right? In the middle of quali I crash and then I have to sit sidelined until the end of the session, because if you press escape the quali is over. And you have to press escape if you are missing a tire. But for some reason my tires are still attached, so I will gently bring the car home. It just feels so stupid, like this car really makes one sometimes feel like unable to drive cars. Because it's all under control and like it's all over the place, but you can control it, and then on in-lap you're just taking it easy and suddenly it just decides to snap. Titanium suspension, yeah. I mean, you see the tire, how cambered it is. So I raced Qatar yesterday in, but I didn't stream it because I came home from vacation on Friday evening and had basically 2 hours to prepare. So we did it with Traction GG, with John and Ross, and Traction streamed it. We did the first time slot yesterday. It was good fun. But I will not do it anymore. Michi will do it this afternoon. Or well, actually, he's doing it now. I'm genuinely shocked that this suspension is holding, because in the past I've lost the tire at like 15 kph hit, and this one was like 2 hits, and they were pretty hard. So well, according to the rules, drive to the garage and you get a new car. Yeah, thank you, Nico. I don't know like how this is even possible, but I'm gladly accepting the second chance as Bert takes the pole away again. I have that pace. I lost 2 tenths in the last corner. I can get them back. Right. Let's go. And let's not do it in the race. Hey Nico, interesting.
I messed up qualifying. I did a banker lap, and then after a couple of laps I pulled off at Stowe and then escaped back to the garage, and I forgot that you can't do that.
Ah, unlucky.
So yeah, I had like maybe like 3 or 4 tenths at least to find, and then
yeah.
That's cost me a lot.
It's such a tight field at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Couple of tenths. Yeah, if you didn't see, I crashed in turn 1, but I didn't lose any tire somehow.
Nice one. Good recovery.
Yeah. And that pace from Bert in P1 is really worrying, because he needs like 150 liters for the race and I need 200. So if it's very tight in quali, then he will be absolutely destroying me at the race start with pace. But I mean, as I said, it was to be expected. I looked in the mirror instead of looking at the track. I see, Walter. Yeah, I don't know who modded this track, but surely there are ways to improve it. But it's fine. Like, I've never raced it before. I don't even know how it should look. Either way, let's try to get the pole. Not like that. Alright. A bit more of coasting. It's super difficult to brake properly because it can just, like, as you try to turn in and brake, it can just like micro lock up into like the most frustrating small understeer where you can never really bring the car to the apex. Or if you brake a bit later, sometimes suddenly the car just stops so well that you are too slow into the apex. Or suddenly the car just goes into a big four-wheel drift. Not easy. But it's the quali setup, like I had to make it, I've had to make it all over the place because that's where the maximum grip is, at least for the single lap. But the race setup is completely different, you will see. It's extremely planted compared to this. Yeah, thank you, Oscar. I'm gonna quickly box again and go for one last run. It's fun if you like properly export the quali. It actually looks really clean and logical, but to get there you just need so many laps. You really need to get a great feeling, as the tires are just so easy to lock up, and also it's not that high up in the air, so it's actually hitting the bump rubbers quite a bit, or if you don't set the bump rubbers enough, it's hitting the ground. Let's move away for Nico. The good old RF2 lighting changes. I don't know why it's doing that. Worse and worse every year. Maybe it's track fault. just going for big overcast to big sunny. Is Maddie on a lap? Right, big gap behind. So I'm gonna get 2 more attempts, I see. Nah. Cool down the tire. Try again. Like minimal differences in inputs just produce such how to say wide range of on-track results where the car ends up and how sideways it is. I just need a 10th and a half. Okay, final attempt. P1. Where is Bert?
Wow, well done.
In the pits. Thank you.
That was the final corner exit. I thought maybe not going to do it, but
Yeah, it was more and more sideways. I took it easy, but still went more and more at an angle. Oof. Risto, good to see you. Yeah, indeed. Agreed.
so if you can just hold up the field for the first few laps, that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to do it, like, let's see what others do, but my rear tires don't like being on pace, you know, they prefer being 2 seconds off.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't get much of a rest on this track.
Yeah, yeah. Right, we have to jump into the what's it called?
Yeah, the
Briefing.
race briefing. Yeah, cool. See you there.
Right, briefing. Here you are.
For 11th.
I feel that. So close. Martin and Franek are, I think, ahead of me by 30 milliseconds.
So yeah, you guys just battle with each other, use up all your tyres, take each other out if you want, and I'll just sit back and drive nice and straight and come through to win on the last lap, like
That's
Monaco
great.
83 or whatever it was.
So we're doing a 1-2, yeah, Darren?
Yes.
Because I think we're last and second to last of FA at the moment.
Whether it's multi 21 or multi 12, I'm not sure yet, mate, but I'm sure the horn will get on the radio to discuss. Sorry, Nico, I'll shut up now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Like with FB still going on, like they're going to be busy for at least another 22 minutes, so we're going to be using all of warm-up anyway. But I did imagine that you guys probably wanted to get the briefing over and done with so you can just focus on the race and stuff after. Right. Fuck off, Adobe toolbar. No one likes you.
Sorry for not telling you, Damir. Completely forgot about the in-lab thing.
Right. Wait, so Danny, did you reset on track and then went back out after?
I didn't do that. No. I forgot to tell Sleepy, so Damir, about the in-lap rule, but from the replays he just did go back to the pits like doing an in-lap. So.
Good. Right. Then just quick briefing. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming in. I think Matt, is Reese gonna rejoin or?
Too sure.
I'm sorry?
I'm not too sure, sorry. I haven't spoken to him.
Gotcha, okay. Because he was streaming earlier and stuff, so I was just wondering if something might be up with that. But either way, yeah. Round 5. We have comparatively sunny weather, luckily with a bit of overcast, so our tires stay a bit cooler than 9,000 degrees Celsius. He also had his stream die, so I think something happened to Reese, but okay. Yeah, so the schedule and stuff is as normal. We'll probably be using the full 30 minutes for the warm-up at the moment because, well, FB is still happily fighting away with, I think, 13 laps to go. Starting procedure as usual, we have a 2x2 staggered grid here. In real life, they used a 4x3x4, but I thought that was a little bit suicidal, considering, well, human sanity. Lapping will be the usual Grand Prix lapping rules. I don't think that we'll have any problem with that here. Track limits will be enforced by the in-game system, except for the except not for the final corner, except for Stowe corner, which well, unluckily, no one's out on track right now and all that jazz. I'm just gonna elaborate that later in a moment. Tarmac runoff outside of Stowe corner can be entered with all 4 tires, and drivers must make an effort to have a maximum of 1 car width between their inside tire, so the right side tire, and the edge of the racing surface. During the race, tarmac runoff can be utilized to avoid accidents in case of oversteering or, just generally car doesn't brake or evasive action. But if you're through the corner already, so you're at corner exit and the car is in front of you, you have the tarmac runoff to the left, you're not allowed to overtake over the tarmac runoff unless you're already alongside before the corner ends. And basically you have the car on your inside, you are basically just trying to hang on around the outside. If you get overtaken on there, you are not allowed to obviously extend the runoff and stuff to stay alongside. But, that just normal off-track racing rules and stuff. Pit lane will not have a speed limit, but drivers are required to safely enter and exit, as usual. Carrying on with a broken car, we guys know this already as well. Critically damaged rule as well. Then we have the rundown here for the guys and gals that have to run in different cars. And since entry number 3 has withdrawn from the series, after Spa, the chassis will be assigned to Zido Vaya. Zido's old chassis has been given to Matt Wright and is now entered henceforth as number 23. Disconnect as usual as well. Don't try to constantly disconnect, reconnect and stuff if you have severe connection issues. Just to make sure that other drivers can't get kicked by you rejoining and stuff excessively. And, also if you're disconnecting, reconnecting like 5-6 times during the race, you'll be quite far off. I mean, it's still possible, to finish for points and stuff, but it is in the code of conduct that you only race when, everything is in actual working condition. Track map in orange zone. The entire circuit is in orange zone for lap 1. Remainder of the race will not have an orange zone. Right, then I'll quickly give you guys a from bird's eye view of first the pit lane and then what I meant with the exit of Stowe. Basically, pit lane entry, if you have to go pit in the race to repair damage or anything, do so over the pit entrance here on the inside. However, you don't have to follow the orange marked line stuff the entire time. Around here, basically just, run to you can run over the striped line as well, as long as you stay on the right side of this curb here. Then go through the pit lane and all that stuff. Don't enter the pit lane from, this mark from the track and then into here, simply because the pit boxes can start quite early and, frankly, you're basically just risking a crash for yourself, and crash in the pit lane is probably the most unnecessary thing that you can do in one of these races. Other than that, I'll quickly drive us up to Stowe. Feel free to make fun of my god-awful third-person driving view skills later.
Looks like you've got all the assists on.
I mean, it's almost like I'm just trying to show it for, everyone else. Righto, here, you see the visual line here? This is the edge between racing surface and runoff. At the exit here, you're allowed to have one car width. So this much between the inside tire and the racing surface. That basically means around, eyeballing it around here. If you're basically behind another car and then you're thinking, yeah, I'll overtake around here, don't do that. If you're basically very far back and still trying to force it to stay alongside, this is still the runoff in the end, so if there's another car inside of you, but already basically with your front axle only barely even up with the rear axle of them, pull back out. Basic survival instinct. That's all I'm asking for here. As far as I could see in qualifying, we didn't really have any runoff abusers there. I don't want to start giving out fantastic runoff penalties or extending the track penalties and stuff. So, I'm counting on you guys, but I know that I can count on you with that because, we have a very good bunch of people here. And, I just want to make sure that everyone knows what is meant in the briefing documents there. Right. Other than that, are there any questions?
Can we use the short track version?
Not yet. It's still in the works.
Damn.
Yeah, Wuchi is making a completely new version of this track at the moment, and it's going to be a lot more great. It's going to be huge, fantastic, and bigly.
Nice.
But it's still a bit far off from being finished, which is why we're still using this version.
It's a good Trump impression.
Huge. Anyway, yeah.
Well, it says 20 minutes to go. Is that actually how long we'll have, or?
Well.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we'll be.
They have 8 minutes left. So at the moment, I'd say we're basically using at least another 15 minutes probably. And then I'll basically go after Daniel. But generally, I think we'll be using the rest of the runoff. So they also have like a little bit of time to interview drivers and stuff.
Thanks, mate.
Righto. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, I have.
Please go ahead.
One after the other.
Okay. So this is basically for future rounds. But if you do if you're still on a qualifying run after the qualifying timer is over, are you then allowed to exit back to pits?
When qualifying is basically like if qualifying is over for you, so basically like the timer is empty, you are done with your lap or something, or you bin it, you can just exit.
Okay,
the thing for qualifying is mainly if you exit back to the pit lane from anywhere on the track, whether you lost a tire, whether you haven't lost a tire or anything, but it's still the session going on, so for example you have 5, 10, 15 minutes left, whatever, whether you can go out or not. If you have literally like any time left, if you escape at the track which isn't like your pit lane around your pit box, then the qualifying is over for you.
Okay, thank you.
All good.
Yeah, and I had a question about the runoff at Stowe. What about lapping with the one car width rule, of course? Is it possible to lap when you're on the runoff?
Generally, yeah, but normally it shouldn't come as far as that. In that situation, my advice to the lapped car would be either pull on the inside here, since we're opportunely here right now, either pull on the inside and let the people around on the outside, or lapped car goes on the runoff and lets the others through. Just to make sure that there's no miscommunication and misunderstandings and potential for shenaniganry.
Yeah, but just in case we end up there, then just
avoiding action is completely legal. If you're like avoiding onto the runoff to evade a lapping car, then you're generally losing time anyway, normally. So.
All right.
Right. Any more questions? I think that is a no. Right, then, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. Good luck, have fun. Congratulations, Yane, Ross, and forward my congrats to John as well about your win yesterday at Qatar. First LMU endurance event.
Thank you, thank
you. Nice.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, best of luck today, everyone. Let's have a fun race.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Briefing over, class dismissed.
Good luck,
have fun
everyone.
preparing.
Good luck.
All right. Back to the driving. So we should have a couple more minutes to get the feeling of the high fuel. Maybe a quick practice start. Feels forever for the acceleration to come, but there is no other way. Yeah, so the fuel tank is more towards the front, so it kind of squashes the front down a lot, which means that I need to put higher front right height for the race, which means that as the fuel is burning, the front is lifting, and hopefully it perfectly counters the rear wear through the race. It was alright at Spa. And before Spa, I didn't really realize that was the issue. The tracks were all slow anyway. And in low speed it's not that much of a big deal. I'm just thinking now, like this, back in the days, this must have been like kind of one of the boring races, like now in this series we had Spa, which is crazy, then we go to Silverstone, which is just like a big flat field with some corners. It's not flat, it's got quite a lot of up and down, but still nothing compared to Spa. And then after this we have Nordschleife, then we have Pescara. This must have felt quite, not underwhelming, but I don't know, probably way safer and more comfortable to drive on the limit. What's the lap time? 25.1. I don't know, I don't feel comfortable going faster than this. Baird is, okay, 4 tenths quicker. Makes sense. Oh, the braking board was kicked off. I don't even have alternate breakpoints. That's not great. $23.9 from P1. I wonder if some people will just take half a tank, box mid-race for new tires, new rears maybe at least, and refuel. Oh yeah, the car is heavy. Guess we move to the race pretty soon, so I'm just gonna try a practice pit entry in case we need that. Now that I know the rules, where to enter the box. Okay, no, that's not the, the correct breaking point. Ow. Kind of still alive, maybe. I mean, they had the belts already, right? Like 4-point harness. Or is it 5-point? Looks like 4-point. Let's not do that in the race if we box. So I think I have to brake at like 200 instead of... Sorry, 300 instead of 200 board. I mean, it was a very kind of elongated dissipation of the crash energy, so probably wouldn't have been a deadly crash. No, probably it would have been a deadly crash, but because the tank would rupture and there would be a big fireball. Yeah, would be a big explosion, and not sure how strong these tubes were. Like, if you do this, maybe already the chassis would just fold on itself already. Well, it's never been a crash simulator, this, right? I need a quick stretch, otherwise my back will kill me. Shame it's only 14 people here. I think it was 24, 25 cars to simulate the 67 season available. It was all filled up, but I don't know why people in sim racing register for stuff and then just drop off after 3, 4, 5 rounds. Although it's midsummer, so they're on holidays. Still, there is this absence notification chat in the Discord. There were not 10 people apologizing. It was just like 2 or 3 stating that they will be missing the round. Well, maybe we do now one practice start. That could be the most important part of the race anyway. And in case the pole position is around here, let's see if I even need to upshift to second. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to turn 1. Need to hold the place in order to have any chance, I think.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck, survive, enjoy.
Yeah, in that order. I'm taking 199 litres. I think that'll be enough.
Yeah, I'm thinking like even 196, 197. Like I would need 198 with quali fuel usage, but yeah, I don't know. I'll take 197, and I mean it's easy to save anyway if needed.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's a long way away, you know. It's like 2 hours, so a lot is going to happen in that space of time. Right.
Okay. Where is even the starting light? I guess it's just the green flag. Oh no. Oh, of course. Alright. It's just a big, big, heavy car. to somehow fix my starts. Not sure if it's just the cars that I'm driving, like the Peugeot in VMS, or the Eagle here in HRSC. I just cannot get a good start. On average. Nico already in the runoff. This apex just comes towards you. It's crazy. Just need to brake later. This is a good representative lap of my pace. Baird with the Brabham 24.6. Yeah, I'm half a second off, which makes sense considering he needs 50 liters less at the start. Well, a bit of no man's land indeed, but I think I will eventually catch Nico. And as the race progresses, I should be faster and faster relatively to the leader. Hopefully. But again, it's probably one of the worst tracks for this car. Maybe, I don't know. Well, Bayer and Godrecki behind are doing a quite good lap times as well. And rear is at 120 already. I could go half a second faster, but then the tires will die within 5 laps. $23.9. That's crazy. So the Brabham kind of loses a second and a half from quality race, and the Eagle loses 3 seconds. Even if I defended the pole in turn 1, Bert would just drive around me in lap 2. consciously trying to load front left as much as possible to keep the wear kind of stable. 96, 94 though. We'll try later downshifts to prevent rears from locking. Come on, Apex. Ah, no rubber. Right, so I guess a bit of thermal deck kicked in already. Quite a Ferrari sandwich though. Ferrari ahead, Ferrari behind. Not fully sure about Ferrari's weight. I think it's a bit lighter. Well, it's a V12 as well, but it's lighter and less powerful, I think. Weight was on the wrong end. I cannot get it into 24s. I brake later and later and I still keep hitting these apexes. Like the curbs, the big ones. And then I brake at the same time and I absolutely miss the apex. That was nice. And that was perfect. Ooh, is a braking board gone? Wait, I think there were two, now it's only one remaining. I think the later one is crashed off, so I still have my brake point at least. Whoopsie. No, that curve is not good. But I did a 24.9. So the lap times should become faster and faster as the fuel burns. And I'm shedding my fuel weight faster than others, so that's nice. And I see Ross has made it into P6, that's nice, the other Rafa Eagle. I wonder if Nico has overpushed and melted the tires a bit too much. He's not really going faster and faster. The Ferrari sandwich is compressing. Bayer is really flying today. Now that downshift to second is super important to slow down the car, even though it kind of locks up the rear axle. We're all setting PBs now. Well, the wear doesn't really look too bad, to be honest. I'm getting baited into pushing. This really behaves like the Peugeot hypercar. It hates combined inputs now. Just need to be very gentle on trail braking. And just wait for the apex. Oof. It's a PB for Nico, I think. 24-4. Nice catch. The Ferrari just has more pace. No way around it. Who's that? Ah, that's Nico. Ah, dear Nico. Okay. Was quite a hunt for P2 for the first half of race. He must have had F1 live on the secondary monitor. Hope he only lost one tire. So he still has the car for the next round. Right, since I'm never gonna catch the Brabham, because it's in a league of its own, Max getting gapped, well, Red Bull at Hungaroring makes sense. Unless he's being gapped by Yuki. Then I think to myself, well, now we played safe. I brake 5 meters earlier and the car stops braking. Who would understand? Alonso got a 23 car. Oh, that's nice. I mean, I saw FP2 highlights. Was kind of surprised. Looking forward to seeing the highlights. Meanwhile, I silently hope that Bert is doing a one-stopper here, while I forget which corner I'm at. And there is no safe driving with these cars. If I drive safe, I am a second of pace. There is nothing in between. Only thing I can be safe with is throttle application. the brakes, I just have to push. Otherwise I do things like this. I guess this is what happened to Nico, just it was a bigger snap. That's another braking board gone. Maybe better that that board is gone, because I was never consistent there anyway, looking at it. Oh, many braking boards gone. And the DNFs are really piling up now. Makes me wonder, like it's surely one of the most difficult cars to drive on the limit consistently. As I do say that, I'll mess up the braking point. Wonder if there is another series like this. If it shouldn't just be one grid but with Formula 2 cars. But this is something special anyway. I'm glad I signed up. Joao, not sure if I want to think of it. It must be a McLaren. And then it's 50-50 between the McLarens. It wasn't a McLaren. I don't know, then it's either Russell or Leclerc. Leclerc, okay. Well, looking forward to watching the highlights. And especially looking forward to tomorrow's race. In my mind, the Eagle that I drive should be relatively better compared to the Ferrari of Bayer behind, compared to the race start. But that scenario is just not playing out. Which means my tire wear is pretty bad. What was that shadow that I just drove over? felt like suddenly there was a shadow underneath. Like a big... Was it that blimp that's circulating? Not sure if that is casting shadows. That's a fast lap. A bit of grass for extra rotation. I'm just thinking now in my head, like I'm actually learning how to drive cars now. It's so important to stay on the brake a little bit. Just smoothly release the brake pedal and gently go on throttle. Instead of just like braking heavily into apex, trying to slide rotate. Just smoothly release and then, yeah, okay. It's taken me 5 races to realize how fast is being smooth. Yeah, Hachemi just a little bit different. Not too much. It still kind of feels like the Peugeot. Because it lacks the front wing. I mean the Peugeot lacks, well the old Peugeot lacked the rear wing as well, like this. The new Peugeot kind of has a little bit of rear wing. But it is kind of similar with the Peugeot, the way that you have to rotate by releasing the brake pedal, in the slow corners at least. Oh well, the Ferrari is fast here today. In this server, well, one Ferrari ahead of me binned it. The Ferrari behind is fast as well. Then Ferrari is fast around Hungaroring. And of course the Ferrari is fast around Qatar. It's a bit of a shame, like I've got the VMS 1 hour of Qatar tomorrow, the sprint race, and I'll battle against a couple of Ferraris, and there will be James Baldwin as well again, back into Toyota. It's just a shame that, like, we had 3 races when the Peugeot finally worked, because it was hot and low downforce, and of course Peugeot is, well, it was 2 races. Peugeot is pretty good around Monza and Spa. But if it was cold temps, then it wouldn't be that great anymore. And then Peugeot wins a little bit around those tracks, and suddenly plus 15 kilos everywhere, like it's silly. But that's how it's been calculated, and I have to trust that my data is not that great. And I'll have to battle on a heavily overweight, in a very heavily overweight Peugeot against the Ferraris that are just half a second quicker per lap around Qatar. No way around it. Probably gonna be like at Sebring, where the Peugeot is 3/10 of Ferrari. But now it's surely 5 to 6/10 off, if not more. Probably still one of the fastest around Monza and Spa, and hopefully around Le Mans, so I have any chance in VMS for the final. But it wouldn't be multi-class with multiple car makes in one class without at least a little bit of Bob drama. Anyway, I have bigger Bob issues now, with Bayer's Ferrari behind. Come on! Oh dear. Yeah, that's not great. Well, that's what I get for complaining about Bob, you know. My bad. It was just like a sudden hit of understeer, which makes sense because the fuel tank is in the front. So now my front is pointing more and more towards the sky, so turn exits will be more and more of an issue. But I will still try to recover this P2. I think the pace is there if I just nail it. Just need to wait longer and longer on the exits to go on power. Big lockup, but I don't care because fronts are not a problem. He's smoking those rears. Corridor, thank you so much. I mean, it wasn't the biggest of esports races, but that was not the point of it, right? It was just great first experience of the swaps. We had great fun with John and Ross. We caught a bug with server rejoin, but we fixed it together with the devs in the first half. And then we had a great finish, so... It was a fun race, it was good content, I suppose. Would love to have VR for these battles. To go. And the rubber is on the inside. But now that the weight of fuel has been burned down, my Eagle is really coming alive. feared that the weight distribution change would not work that well, but it's well balanced. I'm braking too early. I'm afraid not to ram into Bayer, but then I have to leave the brake and then the nose goes up in the air. He just gets the power down so well. Ui! Okay. That was interesting. Oof, well held by him. If you have a snap like that, if you go into the grass, you're just gonna keep sliding until the wall. But there are these big anti-cuts on the inside that absolutely wreck your car. Especially if you hit them when sliding. So has he boxed? Has he straight been the car weighed by before? Right, brain. My brain needs to reset a little bit. It's literal, like, if you simulate, or like, if you try to think how this experience would be in real life, back in the days, it was a literal near-death experience. So when you saw something like that, you were pretty shaken, even if it didn't end in a crash. Probably. Or maybe they were all just a different breed, and they just didn't care. Anyway, Ferrari ahead of me, out, Ferrari behind me, out of the contention. So let's just safely bring this Eagle home in P2. There is big gap behind anyway, 13 seconds. And I have 7 laps to go. Hype on. And greetings to Thailand. Well, it's been a weird race, right? Kind of action through the whole race, but not the kind of wheel-to-wheel action. Although there was a bit of it, but mostly just lap time battles. And I know that my channel is mostly about Le Mans Ultimate nowadays, but something like this just has to happen. A bit of good old RF2 historic racing. While waiting for hopefully one day... Oh yeah, Bayer out. That's... He must have had some issue there, like the way that he lost the rear. Despite staying on the asphalt. I don't know. We'll check the replay. But what was I saying? Yeah, good old RF2. While waiting for Le Mans Ultimate to maybe one day introduce some historic endurance championship cars. When that happens, it's gonna be absolutely brilliant. And then probably the years of RF2 are indeed gone, unless we have RF3 with F1 mods and so on. Right, I mean, I have 5 laps and a half to go, but I cannot take it too easy here. Franek will be on my rear. And if I am even slower, Bert will lap me. The Brabham has been just an absolutely incredible car around here. Judging from the fastest laps, mine is 7/10 off. Anyway, in 13 minutes, sign-ups for a Virtual Endurance Championship Open. Well, the pro sign-ups, if you have the pro license. Which I have. Whoops, almost went to first gear. As VC moves to LMU, it's gonna be a nice one. I must not forget to do the clicks on the Sim Racing Club website. Hopefully it's the biggest VEC season ever. Looking at the license demand, it should be the biggest ever. Yeah, I just need to bring this car home in one piece, because remember, by the rules, if you crash and lose 2 tires or 1 tire on the engine...
I've had brake failure.
Oh. Interesting. Ah.
Left rear.
Okay, that's what happened to Bayer then. Because he spun heavily right ahead of me. Right, well, I'm lifting coasting then.
Yeah. Having a
Crazy.
shock. Oh jeez.
Well, it can never be smooth sailing, right? I'm gonna hope that my aggressive downshifts to second helped not wearing the brakes. Well, free to go. Square tires and brake failure. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to a brake failure myself. But it was a good fight indeed. Shame it ended with the brakes. Are you fully out or still cruising?
No, I had to just DNF there because like I couldn't even get back to the pits. It was so difficult. And I rolled it.
Ah, yeah. Oh no. Well, 2 to go. Dear brakes, please hold. But Jamie, I don't even know. It's been a really weird one. DNF in round 1 from P2 after incident with backmarker. DNF in round 1. Sorry. DNF in round 2 as well at Monaco from P3 because I clipped a weird curb at Monaco. Round 3. What was round 3? Zandvoort, I guess, P2. After I crashed rearwards into barrier. Spa was P3 after no incidents. Yeah, so I have 2 P3s. And going into the last lap. Let's hope we keep this P2. So Franek behind has a much lighter car with much less power. And again, if you just joined now, I can get a brake failure at any point now. That's why I'm slow. Right, the brakes need to hold just for one more braking zone. with a bit of lift and coast. And after 80 grueling laps, we take the checkered flag with the car in one piece. Oof. Well, that was worrying.
Yeah.
Did you did you like fully crash the car or like?
Yeah, so I spun first of all at Cops when the brake failure happened, but I managed to rejoin. And then of course when I tried to brake again, it didn't really work. So I cut across the track at turn 2 outside.
But like the tires gone and so on.
I'm not sure, but like there were still 3-4 laps to go. So either way, if I boxed for repairs, I would have finished outside the points anyway.
Yeah, just wondering if we still have the car A for the next round, you know.
Ah, right. I have no idea. I think all the wheels were on it.
That's good news.
I'll check.
Thank you, Dragos. Thank you, Hachimi.
Yeah, I've never had that before in rFactor2.
Oh yeah, I had it before for sure. We tried to reverse engineer the brakes, the brake wear at some point, but it's very difficult or not really possible with our knowledge. So
yeah, there was no warning. I didn't even know what was going to happen.
There's no brake settings anyway, right? So like if we know that there is big braking zones in the past, what we did is just check the brake wear after a short stint, because you see it in the setup, the remaining brake disc thickness. But like of all the tracks, it's Silverstone. Like that's so weird.
Yeah, I had like 20% rear left tire life as well, so.
Okay.
I wasn't sliding, or I wasn't overheating or anything like that, so I don't really understand.
Yeah, I mean
the brake bias was 54/46, so
yeah, same here. Like in the past, we even wondered if it's because the tires are too cold while being heavily used, if that accelerates the wear. But I mean, usually it's just being too hot. But yeah, I mean, we need to check with Nico what the settings are. Because I mean, for some tracks it could be even crazier. I wonder why there wasn't any failure at Monaco. I mean, okay, I crashed out before there could be a failure, but there is much more of braking at Monaco.
I guess it's more to do with the terminal speed when you brake. Monaco, you're braking more, but it's like at a slower speed, so I guess that's
true. Less less abrasion on the discs. Oof.
Yeah, like 2 hours, then that happens randomly.
Yeah, I mean, you're still P7, so I guess you should get the points, maybe?
Don't think so. Anyway, all 4 wheels were attached, so the car is fine.
Great news.
Yeah, I tried to get into the pits, then I hit like an anti-cut near the pits, and that just flips the car.
Yeah, I did that in warm-up. But yeah, Bayer, just ahead of me, had exactly the same problem, like I barely avoided him.
Yeah, I mean, like I would accept it if like I'd been pushing really hard and had been going really quickly. but yeah, I'd been saving for quite a long time, because I thought like rear left would be an issue for a lot of people, but yeah. There you go. Random stuff.
Yeah. One would say it's racing, but yeah. Oh yeah, just oof. Check what the buyer had, like. Yeah, he rolled over the anti-cuts as well at the pit entry, but he went a lot more into the air, I think, than you.
Oh well, never mind.
Right.
What's the championship like? Like the points? Are you leading or?
I have 2 DNFs and 2 P3s. So I think Devin is still leading because he won. Well, he had DNF and then 3 wins, I think.
All right.
Monaco, Spa, and Zandvoort. But yeah,
Wow.
now he quitted or rage quitted or whatever. So at some point, hopefully, we catch him.
Wow.
Anyway, time to close everything down and go drink some water and register for VC.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I hope it was still fun for you, at least those 77 laps.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, it's a really good track for these cars. But yeah, I was like well off the pace, so. Oh, just need some more practice time, I think, just to get the hang of it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Oskar said he will be in for Nordschleife.
Oh, good.
For the next one. In case he can sort out his internet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Alright, well.
Nice one. Well done. And I'll see you next time. Whenever
Indeed.
that will be.
See you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. And to all of you guys, yeah, it's VC sign up time. Well, we still need to wait for Studio 397 to actually enable driver swaps in hosted sessions. And hopefully that happens very soon. But well, until then, actually until tomorrow, hopefully see you guys at Qatar VMS 1 hour sprint, as I'm gonna get absolutely demolished by the Ferraris that are half a second per lap quicker. Hopefully see you then. Until then, have a nice weekend. Bye bye.